Let's talk about Kaiju number 8, because this is the next series that I'm going to be covering on the channel, and it's certainly worthy of that because it's great. It's also like a collection of all of the series that I'm really enjoying right now. It's like equal parts One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, with little sprinkles of the other popular iconic battle mangas in there. But that being said, it still very much has an identity of its own. And not only that, it's picking up a lot of traction week by week because it is consistently in the top 10 hottest series on Manga Plus, with some weeks it even getting more views than some of the big 6 series do. So in this video, let me explain the overall series to you, but more so give you incentive to want to read it yourself, because as of this recording, it's only up to chapter 57. So at this point, it's a pretty easy catch up. And also, I'm going to be going into some spoiler stuff, but not too much. I'm not going to be outright spoiling like the huge events that happen in this series, but I am going to be talking about stuff that happens in like later chapters, just so I could better establish a foundation for things. But anyway, the series takes place in Japan, no surprise, and it's the nation with the highest monster emergence rates in the world. Also, no surprise there, but these monsters are referred to as kaiju, and I know that we associate kaiju with big giant monsters like Godzilla, but in this series, kaiju is more of like a general term for monsters. I guess it could also mean like strange creature or something. And don't get me wrong, there are many big monsters in this series, but they're not all that size. They actually come in various sizes and various classifications. And of course, there is a power level system to them as well, known as a fortitude number. And as far as I know, it ranges from like 1 to 10. We haven't seen a 10 yet. The highest it's gone so far, I think, is 9.8. But as I was saying about the various sizes of these kaiju, some are small, some are like medium, and then some are like really big. And the smaller ones are usually referred to as yoju. These like accompany the bigger or the stronger kaiju. They're usually under fortitude like 6, but sometimes they can be fortitude 6. And the kaiju who are usually above fortitude 6 are referred to as honju. But then if we go even higher than that, we come to the dai kaiju. These are like the strongest kaijus, I guess. They're usually starting at like fortitude 8 and then above that. Whenever we see a kaiju referred to as dai kaiju in the series, it means things are getting serious. Now, among all of the kaiju, the most elite of the elite are given numbers. Hence the title of the series, Kaiju number 8. That is our protagonist, who we'll get to. But outside of him, so far we've been introduced to at least 6 numbered kaiju. And of course, we can't have monsters if we don't have the humans who kill the monsters. And that's where we come to the protagonists, which are known as the Defense Force. And they operate like a typical battle manga defense force would. We have various units, and these units have captains and vice captains and lower ranks within them, and then the higher ranks that go all the way to the top with the general director. But let's talk about the MC of this series by the name of Kafka. So Kafka, unlike many shonen MCs, is 32 years old. And in the beginning of the series, we see that he's kind of like an underachiever, working as a part of the kaiju cleanup crew. Think about it as like crime scene cleanup, except they come in and clean the kaijus up after the Defense Corps, take care of them. Also, they dissect them and take the good parts to give to the Defense Corps, who will later use the important pieces of the kaiju and engineer it into new gear. This is actually a really cool element of the series, because like the main weapon of these Defense Corps members are these suits that they wear that have been engineered from like the muscle fibers of the kaiju, essentially making them all superhumans. But of course, not everybody is created equal. The more talent or genetic potential that an individual has can bring out more potential of the suit. So just like we've established with the kaijus, how they have like fortitude numbering that goes from 1 to 10, the Defense Corps members' power is predicated on the percentage of the suit that they can bring out. So the lowest, as we'll see, which is Kafka, once he eventually gets his suit, is like 1% unlocked potential, and then later on we'll see that like the strongest can unlock 98% potential of their suit. But anyway, when Kafka was a child, he had a friend named Mina Ashiro. Yep, that's right. One letter off of the My Hero Academia character, Mina Ashido. Now, is that intentional? I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But anyway, they are united by kaijus, basically destroying everything that they love. And they made a vow that they would both become like super powerful captains in the future and eventually take down the kaiju threats. And that brings us to Kafka's MC goal. No, it's not becoming the Hokage or the Pirate King. It is just simply one day being able to stand by Mina Ashiro's side and taking down the kaijus together. But that brings us back to Kafka being a 32-year-old 18-year-old underachiever working as a kaiju cleaner, because on the other side of the coin, Mina has fulfilled her duty. She has become the super powerful captain. Anyway, one day, an 18-year-old kid named Reino joins the cleanup crew as well. And this is kind of the catalyst to make Kafka realize that, hey, you know what? It's time for me to fulfill my potential, because Reino also wants to join the Defense Corps one day, and he's kind of just joining the cleanup crew to get more knowledge on kaiju biology, since that is going to be an aspect of being recruited into the Defense Corps. So eventually, coincidentally, and conveniently, a kaiju shows up and attacks both Kafka and Reino. And as you guessed it, Kafka, being the MC of course, sacrifices himself to save Reino from this kaiju. This is like the big bonding moment between the MC and his sidekick slash pseudo rival, but in a double twist, Kafka also winds up needing to be saved, and this is where Reino comes back and tries to save him. So we have a double selfless sacrifice here, which ultimately ends with Mina Ashiro coming in and just saving them both anyway. Just further establishing that, like, hey, you know, you're so far away from me. Let me just give you some more motivation to come up and be by my side one day. So later on, after they're in the hospital, out of nowhere, this kaiju parasite thing finds Kafka, which implies that it's been looking for him, and goes inside of his mouth, and he suddenly becomes the kaiju. And this is no ordinary kaiju. He's actually one of the strongest to ever exist, I guess, because it's revealed that his fortitude number is 9.8. The highest that we've seen registered in the series so far. That being said, he goes on to eventually being recognized as the title of the series, Kaiju number 8. But anyway, going further into the series, Kafka and Reino eventually make it into the Defense Corps, at the ground level of course. And this is where we start getting introduced to the other characters in the series who are also a part of the Defense Corps, such as Hoshina, who is the 3rd Division Vice Captain, right under Mina Ashiro. Hoshina is like the super fast swords guy. He also kind of reminds me of Ichimaru Gin from Bleach, but he's not a bad guy the way that he is, although at first it kind of seems like he's going to be a foil to Kafka. But we quickly come to learn that Hoshina is actually a really good guy, and you kind of just have to get past his guard at first, which seems to be devious, but like I said, he's actually pretty cool. But that brings me to one of the other main protagonists of the series that we meet in the Defense Corps, and that is Kikoru Shinomiya. She's like the Tatsumaki type character of this series, but also like the token prodigy. She's much further along than the other cadets in the Defense Corps, but a large part of this is because she's the daughter of like the GOAT Defense Corps member, who is currently the Director General, known as Isao Shinomiya. And like I said, he is the GOAT, but like not currently the strongest. He's kind of like pseudo-retired, but still super respected and formidable powerhouse in his own right. Kikoru is also established as being a love interest of Kafka, and yes, there is a large age gap between them, but this is Japan and it is battle manga. Now, I'm not saying that they're destined to wind up together, because I don't think they are. I mean, it's more so established that Kafka wants Mina Ashiro more so than just being by her side, I guess. That's another story for another time. But anyway, enough of the protagonists. Let's get to the antagonists, and that's Kaiju number 9. This guy shows up after their first training exercise, and he establishes right away that he is beyond powerful. Not as strong as Kafka in Kaiju number 8 form at first, but this was just established in the beginning of the series. But so far, Kaiju number 9 is like the string puller. He has like the ability to control the other kaiju, but also create them and straight up bring them back from the dead. I wish I could tell you more about this guy and how the kaijus work, but to be honest, we only really know so much. Even currently in the series, we're kind of just starting to scratch the surface with Kaiju number 9. But yeah, that's pretty much Kaiju number 8, and there's so much that I didn't talk about in this video that I hope you could just find out for yourself by actually reading it. Yeah, I'm going to be covering this series from now on. It is bi-weekly, but yeah, if you like the video, guys, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you're interested in following my bi-weekly Kaiju number 8 chapter coverage. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.